edition of um, mine
Cold.
and Gina's approach to the cold, hard truths about chronic illness. And I should know that, should trip off my tongue with ease, but on this very hot day,
It's quite a mouthful.
yeah. And today's topic is thoughts, and I want you to really think about this. Thoughts are not reality. Okay, we'll have a little bit at the end of it as well, which I'll kind of tie that in. Um, I have no wonderful swimming feats to report from Gina today, although still doing it.
Still doing it.
Um,
Still in the pool.
yeah, but I'm going to switch over to you, Gina, who is a highly accomplished coach, and also someone with a very powerful stories and around lived experience. And she is certainly an expert in that department. So, Gina, what do you think about that? Thoughts are
So,
not reality.
thoughts are not reality. Um, she is speechless, which makes a change. So thoughts. We've got Thomas. Hi, Thomas. He says, "Great, yes. The thoughts are not reality. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about that?" But the idea that actually what we think, we tend to believe. So if we think we've got a chronic illness and there is no cure and we're never going to get better and it's going to be awful, the prognosis is bad, then that doesn't have to be our reality. Just because somebody tells us something, somebody tells us a thought that they've got, doesn't mean to say that it's actually true. It's how much we think it and how much we take it as our truth, which makes it a reality, I believe. So
Mm,
our thoughts are not reality, but we can create reality with our thoughts.
yeah, that is really true. And the other thing that I often find myself saying in different groups is that we get more of what we focus on.
Yeah.
Um, pain is a big one as well, isn't it? You hear people immersed in their pain, and they get more of it, don't they? And that's not putting anyone down in any way, shape, or form. And I don't want to do that, or I don't choose to do that, and I definitely don't want to give that impression. But the simple fact is that we get more of what we focus on.
Yeah.
Fact.
So for example, this morning when I woke up, my thought that was and the way that I work out what I'm thinking is by journaling, by writing it down, because thoughts can go through our head without any conscious acknowledgement that they're there unless we bring some conscious acknowledgement to them. So we've got subconscious thoughts that are just rolling, repeat, rolling, repeat. What do they reckon? However many, 95% of what we think is under subconscious. I know another 95% of that or something is on repeat anyway. So we're going to repeat the same things again and again and again. So the thought that was coming up for me this morning was, I'm tired. And once I recognized that, I was like, okay, well, that's not how I want to go forward into the day. That's not the energy that I want to bring into the day. So let's change what I'm thinking about. So, can I shift it? And you have to shift it one thing at a time, really. It's shifting it to, my body feels a bit tired. My legs feel a little bit achy. What would benefit my legs right now? A healthy food, a little bit of exercise. So my mind was dipping in and out of myself. Should I go swimming or should I just stay in bed? And we sort of did give a spoiler. I went swimming, but recognizing the thought that I'm tired, if I take that with me for the rest of the day, that will become my reality. I will become exhausted. That's not to say that you shouldn't listen to your body and there's time for slowing down and resting. But actually, when I went to the sports centre, I'm on my scooter going to the sports centre, so I'm not expelling any energy physically getting there. It's it's the next best thing to walking is the mobility scooter, and it's very mindful. I even saw a little baby bird jump down from a tree, which was quite lovely. So you can get in nature and just notice and acknowledge and appreciate nature, which then changes your focus to something that's outside of you but very positive.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we were in the green room this morning, we were having a very similar conversation. I think most people struggle with the changing temperature that's happening in the UK at this moment in time.
It's very warm.
However, my particular condition, humidity affects me quite dramatically, really.
Mm-hmm.
And last week, where it was getting hot, I had actually made a kind of a conscious decision. I had a really busy week work wise, and I thought, how am I gonna manage my energy levels in this current weather system that we've got? And I chose to not, and I mean not, go in the gym, um, which I go into every single day. Yeah.
Okay.
And by Thursday of last week, I noticed that my mobility and definitely my balance had dramatically declined, dramatically declined. And I thought about this, and I thought on Sunday, I thought, well, I'm actually coming to this quite negatively, if
Yeah.
you like. Um, so I went back into the gym, and I was in the gym yesterday. I was in the gym this morning. And you know what? Actually, my balance and mobility has improved. But I think I was making an excuse for myself. I really do. I think I was looking for, and
Looking for a get out.
that's me saying this,
Yeah.
and it just highlights how difficult it is for other people when you're faced with a challenge.
I think so. It's whether you've got a chronic illness or not got a chronic illness, getting yourself to the gym every day is a challenge in itself, and not just getting to the gym, but actually doing, working out in the gym and making it a priority. And that's, I guess, that's when your thoughts and how you identify yourself. And I think that's a real big piece of your thoughts as well. Because when I said this morning, I'm tired, I'm then identifying that's me. It's not like my legs are feeling tired. It was, this is my identity as a tired person. That's not an identity I want to be bringing forward. It's not an identity that's going to move me forward in business. It's not an identity that's going to get me healing. It's not an identity that's going to allow me to enjoy life to the fullest. As you keep saying, Chris, how to be the best version of yourself today. Yeah, a tired me is not going to be the best version of myself today. So it's like, well, if I'm feeling tired right now, what can I do to raise my energy? What can I do to make myself feel better? And this morning, I chose to scoot to the gym. And I got a Billy bonus of bumping into two people, two good friends that I haven't seen for a long, long while, which is like almost like, I know the universe is saying, yay, we're going to reward you for saying yes and not allowing the thought. of I'm tired to then become my reality.
Mm.
You know,
And
that's
I
not to
saw
say
that.
I'm not going to have little lie downs in between. I came back and I lay down on my Shakti mat and I had a little lie down. In fact, I've had 2 lie downs, but I still went to the gym. I'm still here. I'm feeling good energy now. And yeah, that's not going to be my reality.
I'm just gonna throw something in here at the moment, which we haven't actually discussed, Gina, and I hope you don't mind me doing this, to be honest with you. But look, you're an accomplished coach, and so am I. We make a difference in people's life, and I'm just thinking that perhaps at this point in this chat, we should actually introduce something that may well help our audience and our people out there, and something I do a lot with the clients that work with me, and I'm sure you're very much the same. I get them to write down their I am statements. You know, those things that it's sort of endless loop really, that we're saying to ourselves about ourselves that we probably would think it was quite rude if we were saying it to or about someone else. Yeah, yeah. And I would
Yes.
invite people to get themselves a little notepad and actually write down those statements that you are constantly saying to yourself through the day. Do it over a few days and then have a look and see how many of those are positive. Yeah, you know, I think you may well be quite surprised at the outcome of that. And one of the things that I'm going to share with you now, and you can find many, you can find quite a lot of different versions of this, you know, and there's been a group of scientists that have been studying our thoughts, you know, how many thoughts, you know, and whilst it's quite varied their results, like from 12,000 to I think it's 66,000 thoughts. Whoever's counted out, I don't.
I don't know who counts these thoughts either, but
But
we'll accept it.
the one thing all the scientists can agree on is most of our thoughts, as you were saying earlier, are negative. Negative. So do you think that it would be really beneficial for people to start to get hold of that subconscious thinking, start to rewrite those scripts that we constantly say every day to ourselves?
Well, that's one of the things we sort of do as coaches, isn't it? Really, we help people. Um, we can hear in as well sometimes, like you said in the when we were talking in the green room that you like to listen to other people and hear the language that they're using. The language gives so much away about what we think. And actually, I'll take your exercise a step further if anybody wants to do this. If you think about a goal that you want to achieve, and then write down all the reasons that you may or may not achieve this goal, and that can be a very negative barrage. And what I would also then say is write it down and then read it as if you're saying it to somebody else. And that, even if you're not actually saying it to somebody else, is like, oh my God, I know when I did it, I was like, I would never speak to anybody like that. I would never say that to anybody else. Yet there I was saying it to myself again and again and again.
Yeah, absolutely. It creates your reality, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, it does.
I think I'll introduce as well at this point where that thoughts are not reality has come from, and there's a guy who's passed now, but his name was Sydney Banks, and he said, and we've just used a little segment of what he said was, but he said thoughts are not reality, yet it is through our thoughts our realities are created. And that's the powerful bit of that. You know, really understand that through our thoughts, our realities are created. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
look, I don't know if we've got anyone viewing this, but I'm asking: has anyone got any questions for us? And even if you're not watching this live, you can watch it on the replay. And I urge you, dear viewer, to seek out Gina, seek out me, DM us, and ask us some questions that this chat may well have raised. We are very approachable. Yeah.
Like
Oh,
to
you're
think
a bit
so. Like to
scary,
think so.
Gina. We are very approachable. We are both on LinkedIn. We are both on Facebook. We are both on Instagram. Yes?
Yes. Yeah. On all of them.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we are on all of them, and we are on a mission
Yeah.
to. It's life when you've been diagnosed with something. It comes along with a whole lot of other people's thoughts. The doctors give you their thoughts from their experience and their training, and that does not have to be your reality. It's totally within your power to take their truth and take it or leave it, really. And I'm encouraging you to just look a little bit deeper about what is happening, because if our bodies are if we've got as far as a diagnosis, our bodies are severely imbalanced on some level. And what we do as coaches is help you see how to, where they're imbalanced, and actually where and what is in your control. Because quite often the doctors tell you there's nothing you can do, but there is. Starting with what we think. And that is so within our power. And as we've just demonstrated, even though we've been doing this stuff for years and years and years, we still have thoughts that don't necessarily serve us and move us towards the reality we'd like to create. So it's a constant, ever vigilant process, I think, of monitoring your thoughts. And
I think
yeah, we can help do that.
I think the trick is with us is, look, we do have them thoughts. We do have those negative thoughts. The trick for us is that we don't dwell on them. We don't dwell, do we? We don't get sucked into that abyss of negativity. It's more surface level.
I think so, and also certainly for me, and I think this is true for most people. When you're having negative thoughts coming under the surface, even if you're not consciously aware of them, your body will tell you. You'll have a feeling of genuine tiredness. Might be something tiredness that comes in because you negativity is draining. It is. It's like, and when you're thinking bad things, and I say bad as in not positive about your future. Things are going to get worse. It's too scary. I can't do anything about it. The My future life is not looking bright. It's looking dark and heavy. Then that is going to make you feel tired. It is going to make you feel tired. And interestingly, I don't know where I picked this up from, but recently I picked this up from somewhere. The word depressed is really deep rest. It's your body going into, it needs a deeper rest. So depressed is not being sad about something. Depressed is deeper and heavier than that. So if that's something that you're experiencing, it's an invitation to get deeper, to rest deeper, and to acknowledge those underlying deep rooted thoughts that are just on repeat, just on repeat, just on repeat. And we can change them. It's amazing how
Okay.
quickly you can move that energy up one little step at a time. And then you wake up one morning and, oh, I'm not tired anymore. I'm energized. Let's just change that. What would an energized Gina feel like when she gets up in the morning? That best version of myself that you keep talking about.
Yeah. Well, that's the hashtag BVOMT. You can see on the screen that I've put up our next
Street.
visit. Extreme, yeah, that's it. I was looking for that word. Yeah, 15th of July.
Yes.
We'll put up the subject because I can't remember.
No,
what
well,
it
I've got
is.
the subject here. I'm on it. And interestingly, it's a beautiful segue in. So our next one is how to be the best version of myself today.
Oh,
Yeah.
lovely. Okay.
And when you are the
Guys,
best version of yourself, that and you tell yourself that as well, so it's just remind yourself, actually this is me, as you have your healthy salad, as you choose to go to the gym or the swim, as you decide I'm going to get out in nature, or just I'm going to have a deep rest, then this is all about being the best version of ourselves. And the more we do it, the better practice we get at it, and the easier it becomes.
yeah, and it's a non-critical approach to improving your well-being because it allows you that that understanding that you're not always going to be 100%. You know, we're not promoting this be positive all the time because it's, well, I'm going to swear here, that positive, that it's cobblers because you can't. It's not a natural state. You can't be in that state all the time, but you can be the best version of you today.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to wrap this up now, guys. Oh, hang on a minute. There are two people that have come on screen.
But no, I think it's Thomas.
Just before we go, have you? Has anyone got any questions? Type it up, and we'll do it. If not, DM us. You know, Gina Dallison coaching, or myself, Chris Freer from Freer
Freer
Thinking.
thinking, because we need to think freer, because
Never
yeah,
did I think my
because
name would be good.
oh, I know, there you go, and there it is. It's a beautiful yeah, a beautiful play with words, and just recognizing that actually our thoughts are within our control. They might not feel like it sometimes, but literally writing them down allows you to take the power out of them, uh, in your psyche, really, and just bring them to light. And then you can recognize, is this something that I want to take with me? Is this going to become the best version of me today by me thinking this or these thoughts? Write them down, and then you've got a choice whether to carry them back again or not.
Well done.
Thank
See you
you.
all in a fortnight. Bye bye.